Welcome back to this post-COVID annual general meeting of the Bowmanville Older Adult Association. It's wonderful to be able to gather again today. We seem to be past COVID and have learned a lot about how to manage it. Boaa has been gathering momentum, lapsed memberships are being renewed, and our members are increasing daily. The place is busy and the staff like it that way. My name is David Penny. I am the current President and Treasurer. This is our Executive Director's first annual meeting, so I'm going to take a minute and introduce her. This will be very brief. If you have not met her, your best introduction will be to have a talk with her first chance you get. Denise Allen started with Boaa March 1st. She was with Mission Services of Hamilton, a large charity focused on people who need help, men, women, children, and youth needing food, shelter, and or having addictions. Denise was the Director of Addiction Services, and she was focused on rebuilding lives. Prior to Mission Service, Fred Victor Toronto, Durham Mental Health Services, Whitby, Wood Green Community Services, Toronto, Community Living, Toronto. She holds a bachelor's degree in psychology and gerontology from McMaster University. Kind of a good fit for us. And Denise is here, and you will hear from her in a few minutes. I would also like to recognize our sitting board, Lynn Ralph, who is past president and secretary. There she is right there. Thank you. Chris Christodoulou is director. Linda Couture, Director. Wayne Collis, Director. June Smith, Director. And Doreen Cripps, our Director. Now to the business of our 22 annual general meeting. There was proper notice to this meeting, and a quorum is present. We are properly constituted to conduct business. Our first order of business is to approve the agenda, which is on the screen. May I have a motion to approve the agenda? And a seconder. Stella got that? Any discussion about the agenda? All in favor of the agenda? I think the agenda is carried. Thank you. We now would like to have approval of the minutes related to 2019 year taken at our last annual meeting on October 27th. And I think they're kind of hard to read from back there, even right here. So I think we'll have Denise read them for us.
Great. So these are our 2019 annual general meeting. Opening remarks and welcome from President David Penny. Thanks to Angie Darlison, Executive Director, for her 14 years of service. Approval of 2019 agenda. Motion to approve the agenda as presented, moved by Alan Tibbles, seconded by Agnes Rowe, carried. Approval of 2019 AGM minutes. Motion to approve 2018 minutes presented, moved by Hans Carl Morgan, seconded by Josie Roberts, carried. Presentation of 2019 financials. David Penny presented a review of the 2019. A completed listing is listed in the BowmanvilleOlderAdults.com website. Motion to accept the 2019 financial reports as presented, moved by Chris Patel, seconded by Dave Johnson, carried. Introduction of Deborah Marsh from Smith, Chappell, Marsh, and Villander LLP Chartered Accountants by David Penny. Deborah Marsh provided an update regarding 2019-2020 audit. Extension of directors update as per bylaw number 1 of BOAA, item number 4.03, terms of office of directors. Due to the inability of Boaa to host an in-person 2019 and 2020 annual general meeting caused by the global pandemic and resulting facility closure, Let it to be proposed that all directors holding office during this period have terms extended to the October 27, 2021, at which time they will be re-elected to office as required. Motion to extend terms of office from March 2019 to October 2021 to be approved, moved by Brenda Reber, seconded by Gary Barre, carried. Adjournment, motion to adjourn, moved by Ellie Crone and seconded by Joan Watson, carried.
Good. Thank you. May I have a motion to approve those minutes? Okay, and a seconder? Probably covered. Good, thank you. Any discussion about the minutes? All in favor of the minutes? I think they're carried. Thank you. Now we need to approve the minutes that relate to the 2020 year that were also taken at the October 27th, 2020 meeting. And I will ask Denise to read those.
Excellent. Opening remarks and welcome from President David Penny. Approval of 2020 agenda. Motion to approve the agenda as presented. Moved by Diane Vivian, seconded by Coles, carried. Approval of the 2018 AGM minutes. Motion to approve the 2018 minutes as presented. Moved by Joanne Reel, seconded by Glenn Jeffrey, carried. Presentation of 2020 financials. David Penny presented a review of the 2020. A completed listing is listed on the BowmanvilleOlderAdults.com website. Motion to accept the 2019 financial reports as presented, moved by Margaret Tippin, seconded by Elaine Spicer, carried. Motion to appoint Smith, Chappell, Marsh, and Villander LLP as the public accountant for the year ending December 31st, 2021, moved by Brenda Reber, seconded by Hans Carl Morgan, carried. Nomination committee update. Sharon Coburn presented an update regarding the nomination process. June Smith and Linda Cotu were invited to provide an introduction to all in attendance. Motion to acclaim David Penny, Sharon Coburn, Lynn Ralph, June Smith, and Linda Cotu as directors of the board. Approved, moved by Shirley Park, seconded by Sue Aarons, carried. David Penny, Lynn Ralph, Sharon Coburn, Chris Kodulu, Don Johnson, Wayne Collis, Doreen Cripps, June Smith, Linda Cotu. Motion to approve directors of the board of the 2021-2022 term as presented, moved by Paul Livingston, seconded by Elizabeth Job, carried. Bylaw update, page 6 and 7, bylaw number 1. 3.09, participation by electronic means at members meeting. Members can attend and vote at meetings of members in person or virtually. No members may use proxy. 3.10, members meeting held entirely by electronic means. Meeting of members may be held virtually if required. Moved by Don Welsh, seconded by Benny Young, carried. Executive Director Review. Angie Darlison shared a review of the past 24 months and gave thanks to the staff, board, and membership. Question and answers. Susan Crowe asked if members will be asked to sit on a hiring committee to find a replacement for the departing Executive Director. Elizabeth Job asked if BOAA would be hosting a celebration of remembrance for all that had been lost due in our organization due to facility closure. Don Welsh gave thanks to the membership and ED for all the efforts in creating Boaa. Adjournment, motion to adjourn, moved by Steve Cole, seconded by Brenda Reber, carried.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve those minutes? So moved. Do we have a seconder? Seconder. Any discussion? All in favor? That motion passes. Thank you. We're now at a review of the financial statements for 2021. And this data, the data under 20 and 21, is it's based on the audited 2020 financial statements and the draft audited financial statements for 2021. Boaa's auditor is Smith, Chappell, Marsh, Vilander, Chartered Professional Accountants. The audit partner, Deborah Marsh, was not able to join us today as it's June 30th. And many of you would know that is the last day for filing returns for organizations with December 31st year ends, and she is really busy, so I told her we'd take care of it for us. But I will tell you that all of Boa's returns are filed, so we're on time. For both the years 20 and 21, and I'll just start off at the top of the chart. You'll see the number $591,450. That's $591,450. Those are our financial assets. Our fixed assets are $82,413 for a total asset base of $673,863. If you deduct the liabilities and the deferred revenues, you end up with our net assets of $422,216, and that sometimes would be called your equity. That's left. That's what's left. Our revenue for the year was $790,226. Our expenses $705,598. So we actually had a surplus of $84,428. And if you take this number, which is the net assets at the beginning of the year, or at the end of the previous year, $337,788, and add the $84,428 to it, you come back to the net assets at the end of 2021. So for both the years 2020 and 2021, Boa was closed for most in-person activities, with the exception of January and February 2020. As noted, Boa had a surplus of or maybe I didn't mention, it had a surplus, or did mention, $185,071 in 2020, and a surplus, of course, of the $84,428 in 2021. Conventional government funding remained in place, so even though we were closed, the municipality and most of the federal and provincial funding sources still came our way. And in addition to that, Boa qualified for the Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy, which was new funding to Boa. Although program revenue, fundraising, membership fee revenue were all down dramatically, they were more than compensated for by the federal wage subsidy program. For 2020, Boa earned $148,421 of wage subsidy, and in 2021 it earned $233,304 of wage subsidy. So this exceptional revenue made up for more of the difference of the losses that we would normally have gotten from regular operations. The accumulated surplus for the 2 years, that's the 185 and the 84, come to $269,499, and so that's not only good fortune, but as a practical matter, it's necessary. The wage subsidy program is not permanent, and in fact, it terminated just this May. In the fall of 2021, when we budgeted for 2022, our expectation was that Boa would run a deficit of $90,000 in 2022, meaning we would need to draw down on those prior surpluses. As it turned out, the wage subsidy program was extended into 2022, so adjusting for that will probably result in a deficit in 2022 of around $40,000, but we have that surplus to take care of it. Over the next year, we will need to get back to at least break even. That means lots more activity, which everybody will like, and with the modest fees that go with that. That'll replace the wage subsidy. 2019 was the last year of full activity. We were able to generate a modest surplus that year, so we can do that again, I'm sure. Boa's financial asset position, which is at the top, left-hand number, which is mostly cash, at the end of 2021 was solid at $591,450. So Boa is in good shape financially. Are there any questions? Yeah.
My question is then, the extra supplement that the government gave, is that why the financial assets increased by almost 200,000? Because I can see there that you had less revenue and less excess of revenue over expenses. It went from 185 down to 85, but I would have thought that would have drawn down your cash position, but instead it went up the 200, almost 200,000, that top line financial assets.
You're saying because this number is lower, it would draw it down?
Yes, we went down, but
Yeah,
why is the financial assets, is that partly due to the extra unexpected
It's
income
pretty well
from the
all
job?
due to the extra money we got from the wage subsidy. But
Okay.
this really isn't a drawdown. It's basically, we have 185,000 surplus this year,
Yes,
and then we have another surplus of $84,000 the next year.
okay,
So that drives it up rather than down.
okay, good, thank you.
Thank you. And any other questions? Oh, yeah.
Do we have to pay back any of that subsidy?
No. That's a good question, but no. Anything else? Okay. What I would like to do now is, I just want to let you know that the financial statements will be posted on our website shortly. And anybody that wants a hard copy just needs to ask for it. We'll provide that from the desk. What I would like to do now is have an approval of the financial statements for 2021, a motion to approve them. Okay. Do I have a seconder? Is there any further discussion about those statements? I call a vote. All in favor of approving the statements? Looks like that carried. Thank you. And we have one more thing to do. We have to appoint our auditor for next year. That's for the, it's for this year, for the 2022 year. And we would like you to approve Smith, Chapel, Marsh, Vilander again. And could I have a motion to appoint the auditor? Thank you. Seconder? Lots of seconders. Any discussion about the auditor? Call a vote. All in favor of appointing the auditor? Thank you. That carries. Thank you very much. And I think that takes care of what I need to do for now. And I'll ask Chris to come up.
Any question, David?
Yes.
Out of curiosity, how long have these, has this company been the auditor reviewer for BOA?
2015.
Okay, good.
Thank you, David. So, for the last 2 years, we've been essentially shut down, and we actually made money. So, I think we should shut the place down, and we all go home and make more money. But seriously, the reason we did make that money was because of Dave. He's the guy who, and we are really fortunate to have him because he is a financial genius, expert. He's the guy who claimed all that money. He knows how to do it, and he single-handedly applied for all the money that we were eligible, and we got it, and that's why we are in this financial. So, since this is my last day on the board, I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank everybody, all the members, and all the other board members for the excellent work that you guys have done for the last 2 years, because it has been tough trying to keep the place going. Members obviously, in most cases, were not able to attend, but we still managed to keep it going in a way that it was easy to come back. So once COVID was finished, we were able to start again, and here we are. Essentially as if nothing's happened. Now membership is still not quite to the levels that it was before, but it's growing every month, and I'm sure before too long we'll be back to the numbers that we had in the past. So having said all that, I'm now coming to the part that I came up here for, and that is to introduce the new, not quite board members yet, but they're coming soon. So we have 4. Typically, when we have a AGM, we don't really have enough candidates coming forward for board membership, and we usually don't have sufficient numbers. We can have up to 9, from 3 to 9. We usually have around 5, 6, 7, something like that. But this year we're going to have 9, and this is really good. And it's great that people are willing to come forward and do their bit to help Boaa, because that's what you're doing. When you put your name down and you join the board, you're essentially saying, hey, I want to help the rest of the members. I want to make this place what it should be. It should be a great place for seniors to come, have fun, meet their friends, play cards, games, go to the cafe and have lunch, whatever. It's really fellowship. It's gets you out of the house, keeps you fit, keeps you healthy, and you live longer. And you live happier too. So that's really all you can ask for. So the 4 new prospective members are, and please stand up when I call your name, Vern Little over there, Brenda Weber, Cubby Ward, and the last one is David Sitaram, but David is out of the country right now, so obviously he cannot stand up. He may be standing up. So all these people that have come forward, from their resumes, they all great. So they're going to tell you a little bit about themselves in a minute, but from what I've seen, they're going to do a great job. And I, for one, am pleased that they did come forward. So I'm going to call, I guess, Vern first, to give you a few words about himself. Vern?
Thank you, Chris. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Vern Little. I've been a member here since 2018. I volunteer as a driver. I also volunteer or come to play cards, darts, bowling, golf this year, which is great. I have some experience as a board member when I was vice president at a nonprofit co-op housing in Ajax years ago. And for the last 18 years of my career, I was a supervisor with the Toronto Transit. I was involved in a lot of committees with the transit company. I'm not a very good public speaker, I'm sorry. I was on the Joint Health and Safety. I was divisional trainers for a number of positions. And I look forward to learning from this incredible team of board of directors that are here. And I'm sorry to see that Chris is stepping down and so is Wayne. So here I am. I look forward to learning and helping out as much as I can and hopefully become an asset to the board and to use. And thank you for being here today.
Thanks, Vern. Okay, and the next one is Brenda. Brenda Rowe.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I am a grandmother, a great-grandmother. I've been in Bowmanville for 25 years now, and I normally spend 5 days a week at the BOAA. I think it's one of the most important organizations in this community, and it gives so much to so many. For most of my career work life, I've been involved in several different not-for-profits. I was manager of finance and administration at a shelter for abused women and children in Scarborough. And when I retired 4 years ago, I had been there 25 years. I've also been on several boards. I was on the board of directors for the Emily Stowe Shelter for Women. I was treasurer of Child Find Durham Region, and I was also on the board for Durham Deaf Services, and after I left the board there, I became their bookkeeper for several years. Just so you know, I have worked extensively with our auditor outside of this place, and they are very good. I highly recommend them. I just think that the BOAA needs to go forward. It needs to sustain itself, and I look forward to contributing whatever I can to help us move forward in a positive way. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. And the next one is Cubby Ward.
Oh my God, it's been a long time since I've stood up in front of all you people. Good morning. It's afternoon. I'm Cubby Ward. I could spend time telling you about the volunteer activities I've participated in over the last 13 years, but since I have probably at least served many of you a cup of coffee or at least one dinner over the years, in true teacher fashion, I'm going to instead share some of the lessons I have learned being a member here. Relax. No test at the end. Lesson number 1. If you are asked to be part of a committee to look into the needs of older adults in Clarendon, and the report is financed by the town, run away. The recommendations from that report will not be in the interest of your association, and you can never get your name removed from that report. And you may get called into the mayor's office when the members try to express their concern by marching on town hall about the suggestions contained, and the mayor will tell you to get those members to back off. It was at that point I decided that it was in the best interest for all concerned that I step away from the board. From that point, our wonderful Angie and the board took the lead in turning the COAA into the amazing BOAA, a not-for-profit entity that it is today. Lesson number 2. If you're working in the cafe and you blank out on somebody's name, never say, "What can I get for you, dear?" It was pointed out to me that that is demeaning and dismissive to the person you have directed it at. No one wants to feel like that. Thank you. Lesson learned. I just feel that part of our mission at the BOAA is to welcome and include all our members as part of a special community. Lesson number 3. I learned working in the kitchen with Sharon that the best way to make a salad is to put things together and put together a variety of different things and then get into it with both hands and give it a good toss. Yes, I've had my hands in your salads. Our association here is like the ingredients for a good salad. We just need to give all our ingredients a good toss to have each of us work as a whole, respecting each other's talents and strengths. This is a community of capable and interesting people who are prepared to get through anything, be it a pandemic or financial shortcomings. I would like the opportunity to rejoin the board to keep us moving forward with leadership that is positive and caring and respects the talents and strengths of our members and staff.
Thank you, Catherine. So the last member, I guess, is David Sitaram.
My name is Dave Sitaram. Unfortunately, I'm unable to make my presentation in person due to our previous travel plans. We live in Bowmanville and are a member of BOAA. Our daughters are owners of the Willow Branch. Presently retired from GM after 30 years of service, I was involved in several community initiatives, including food and financial campaign for sick kids, Sharon's Kids, Bethesda, and Simcoe Settlement House. I also coordinated and delivered used sporting equipment to kids in Latin America. I bring in excess of 25 years of experience as a director. Auto Workers Community Credit Union as their vice president, Central One Credit Union as the governance chair, Cooperators Insurance Governance Committee, Canadian Cooperative Association as their president, International Cooperative Association as their Canadian director, Ontario Cooperative Association vice president. During my time on board, I serve in governance, audit, executive, legislative, and recruitment committees. I delivered governance training in Africa, Asia, and South and Central America. It would be an honor to be a part of a very positive and dedicated board. I sincerely ask for your support. Thank you.
Thanks so much to all of our candidates. I'd like to ask for a motion to acclaim Vern Little, Brenda Reber, Cubby Ward, and Dave Sitaram to the board. Can I have a motion? Okay. And seconded by? Motion carried. I'd like to introduce to you your 2022-2023 board members in their entirety. Lynn Ralph, Linda Cotu, David Penny, Doreen Cripps, June Smith, Vern Little, Brenda Reber, Dave Sitaram, and Cubby Ward. Awesome. Thanks to everyone for coming today. I'm so glad to be here and for us to be able to meet together and inside for today's annual general meeting. I'd like to thank this board of directors to start for their leadership this year and acknowledge and appreciate them for guiding the association through some challenging times. As volunteers, you set the tone for Boaa, and your tone has really reflected who Boaa is. A special thanks to Chris Costulu and Wayne Colas for their service on the board. Since my start here in March 2022, I have really seen Boaa's mission and vision being put into action every day. Our mission to promote the health and happiness of older adults by enhancing their quality of life in a welcoming and inclusive environment. Our vision to inspire our members to be independent, active, healthy, empowered, and connected. It is clear that the members of Boaa, volunteers of the Boaa, and Boaa staff truly embody this mission and vision. Our values being accessible, caring, community-focused, fiscally responsible, member-focused, and quality programs. And our strategic priorities continue to be our people, our activities, our community, our organization, and our image. But before we go any further, I'd like to bring your attention and have you join us in showing our appreciation to Alona Bacco, who recently received Senior of the Year from the municipality of Clarington. Come on and stand up, Alana. A huge congratulations to her on her achievement and her many accomplishments giving back to the community. She, along with all of our volunteers, keep Boaa viable and strong. Let's have we already did a round of congratulations, but congratulations. Well, we have been adapting and changing with the various ebbs and flows of the COVID pandemic. We have also seen changes to the staffing and personnel at Boaa. You have a new executive director. Glad to be here. All of the routines and practices of Boaa are new to me, so I thank you all for being so welcoming and encouraging as I learn and grow in this role. We hired several new Boaa team members since March. New to Boaa are Rebecca French in the full-time maintenance role and Emily Wilkinson in the event and fundraising coordinator positions. Maybe you guys would stand if you're here. I see Emily here. And Rebecca. They have both filled some cherished and much missed positions, so we welcome them to our team. Our stellar core staff continue to be Stella Riccio, accounting and office administration, Tom Shodden, facility and transportation manager, Kristen Van Dyke, relationship manager, Veronica Vargas, program coordinator, that's Emily beside her, Dawn Faskin, newer in the volunteer assistant role, Julieta Cortez in multimedia administrator, Dorothy Lawrence, part-time maintenance, Bill Lawrence, part-time maintenance, Corey Sire, maintenance assistant, Simon Bush, catering coordinator, and Glenn Jeffries, part-time maintenance. We also have our 6 fabulous students that are also up here, Lauren Good, Hope Pasco, Aiden Montgomery, that's Becca beside Aiden, Nadia Surratt, Piper McIntyre, and Devin Pollard, and we are looking forward to one more student joining us soon as well. I am thrilled to be working with such a hardworking, enthusiastic, diligent, and competent team. Let's have a round of applause for your whole. Since our last AGM in October 2021, we have made some strides. In fall of 2021, we had a blended model with few socially distanced in-person programs and a large number of virtual options available for members. Staff and members were creative and able to adapt and pivot as our world changed and through the various waves of the COVID pandemic. After a closure of the physical center during winter, we reopened our doors again in February 2022 and began the process of switching the majority of our programs to in-person while continuing to have a blended model of in-person and virtual programs. As a newcomer in March, I was excited to work with the members, the board, and the amazing Boaa team to begin making changes based on member feedback. We were also excited to start doing more things in person with fewer restrictions. Since March, we had a distinguished guest tour on site with Minister Cho and Lauren Coe. We hosted 2 vaccination clinics. We reopened our Catch the Ace lottery and have been boosting our fundraising funds and having fun trying to catch the ace of spades. Boaa has very recently started the second phase of reopening, which is our larger events. In May, we hosted Smile Theater and Tuesday Lunch on May 31st, which was well attended. We had 107 guests and a wonderful performance from our choir. We have a number of events happening in June and will continue to grow our events for you to enjoy and attend. Some of you may have attended our lunch this week where our theater group presented and we had 132 folks on site plus many volunteers. If you've had a chance to glance at our July-August program and event guide, you will be glad to see some of our new programs, including belly dancing, soccer, baseball, hikes, and combinations of programs such as the drum tap beat, combining drumming and tap, and events old and new coming back. There will be bistro nights to Jamaica and Austria, tea parties with tea leaf readings. Ooh, I'm excited about that. Themed lunches, dances, and a whole array of programs that we know you will enjoy. I'm especially excited for our Sunday social, delicious and fun, and badminton and mini putting. A huge thanks to Kristen and Emily for their roles in planning and supporting these events. For our fall program and event guide, there will be even more events planned. We are already getting them organized. We will have weekly Tuesday lunches again, regular dances, bistro nights, and have already planned some incredible trips. The Blue Jays game, Perry Sound Lunch and Cruise, Oktoberfest, Niagara Shopping Outlet, Walter's Family Christmas, Casa Loma at Christmas, and even an Elvis Christmas show. We know everyone is thrilled to have our great events back. Please hold the date on September 14th as we have our Active Living Fair happening 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We will be showcasing what we do here at Boaa. Of note, we have been participating in concerts at the park and have applied to the Newcastle Fall Fest and will be applying for the Apple Fest as well. We want to continue our high profile in the region as well as continue our fundraising activities. Good news, we are entering into our 25th year at Boaa. We will be planning some 25th year festivities in the future. One thing we have planned is a pottery painting 25th anniversary mural. Our friends from Croc a Doodle are going to come and stop by with tiles and paint to assist us in creating this. Please sign up for this happening August the 18th. Please let Kristen, Emily, and myself know if you have any ideas for how we can celebrate this big milestone for Boaa. Meanwhile, pick up our 25th anniversary bling, t-shirts, mugs, pens, decals available at the front desk. And some of you are already wearing our lovely blue t-shirts that commemorate our 25th. Now I'd like to show you some of our stats and give you a sense of the direction we are moving in and highlight some of the great work that has happened between October 2021, our last AGM, and May 2022. Our daily attendance has been steadily climbing since March, peaking in May at 146 participating on an average day. Our lowest point during this time period was January. You can see a little dip there. This is our average attendance per day. As you can see, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursdays are the highest days, with Tuesday and Friday being a bit lower. That will change once we have our weekly lunches. Our Wheels in Action program has been steadily increasing, and a huge thanks to our volunteer drivers who keep this program running, to Tom for his role in keeping the fleet fit and setting up the rides. Please do utilize our Wheels in Action to get you to and from programs, activities, and events. It kind of saves the hassle of parking. And make sure you book 24 hours in advance. So this chart shows that we did 506 rides, October 2021 to May 31st for various programs. Our volunteer numbers reached 41,000 hours between October 2021 and May 2022. The largest group of volunteers were at the front desk, followed by cafe volunteers. We are now welcoming back our event volunteers for lunches, bistro nights, concerts in the park, and various events. We're glad to see you back. A huge thanks to all of our volunteers for keeping Boaa up and running. Your presence in various roles, as you can see there are quite a few, are integral in the running of Boaa. And a huge thanks to Dawn, our volunteer assistant, and Kristen, our relationship manager, for their roles in supporting volunteers. Let's hear it for our volunteers. Our total activities per month have been increasing. As you can see, numbers are higher during this period than this period in the previous year. A huge thanks to Veronica, our program coordinator extraordinaire, and all of our instructors. Yes, for Veronica. And all of our instructors and conveners and volunteers who have kept our programs running and growing. Veronica works really hard and does a great job coordinating and developing programs, and I don't know where she gets her energy from, but Veronica, we all want some of it. Our total number of sign-ins is also higher during this period than previously. We have been trending up in our number of sign-ins, so thanks to everybody for signing in when you come in to your programs, activities, cafe, and for your increased participation. We continue to have a strong presence on social media, thanks largely to our multimedia administrator, Julieta Cortez. Facebook and Instagram have strong numbers. They are moving down a little bit with programs being open and folks doing more things in person. We will continue to try to connect with our members and potential new members through Facebook and Instagram, and we also have our YouTube channel. Another way we connect with members is through the MailChimp service. As you can see, we have high opening rates, and many of the members read the material through MailChimp. The average opening rates for MailChimp are usually 15 to 20% on the high end, and ours is up at 50%, so that's really good. I wanted to end I'll have a time for questions in just 1 second. I wanted to end my presentation with some quotes from you. Our members are everything. We wouldn't be here without you, and we are here for you. Here is what you had to say about why you love Boaa. There is definitely a young at heart vibe that is so welcoming. The most wonderful, inclusive people who stand with you, laugh with you, and encourage you, my other family. The friendly atmosphere in the building due to staff and volunteers. The friendships that we have created. I love the people and the positivity. The staff and volunteers are wonderful, and the members are so much fun. Thank you. So I'm now just going to open it up for questions. You can ask me any questions, any of the board members that you have questions for, and also any of our staff. So go ahead.
I'm just moderately clueless. That MailChimp, does that mean that when I get your lovely email, that actually you can tell if I open it?
That's correct, yes.
So now what happens if I open it on my phone, and then I go over to my iPad and I open it again, and then I go over to my regular computer and I open it again? Did 3 people just...
Still counts as one time opened, so it's sent once. You can open it as many times as you like.
Okay, so my cluelessness about whether or not I even read it doesn't mess up.
We hope that you're reading it, but we're just encouraged that so many folks are opening and reading, and because it's a good way to find out information about what's
I
happening.
open it because of the joke at the very bottom.
Yes, that's why we put the joke at the bottom, so you'll read everything. Okay, I think Ted has a question.
We had a major shock when our 2 leaders left us for other jobs. I credit people like Tom for holding this place together while we were without a lot of our leadership. My congratulations to the board. You did one hell of a job in picking a new leader. I'm so impressed with her so far.
Thank you. Yes, the staff team here are amazing, stellar, multi-talented, wear multiple hats all the time and are incredible. So, and our board is amazing. So thank you.
I'll pay you later, Ted.
Yeah, Tom's gonna pay you later. Okay.
I should share with you that I'm always somewhat reluctant to make a suggestion because inevitably I get asked to follow through and take part. However, when I was on the board, Angie and I had the gruesome responsibility of applying for grants. And I still get emails from the various organizations outlining potential grants. And some of them are quite appealing, and I think we should pursue them. I guess I'm just interested in what's the status of grant applications.
Absolutely. So we have just applied for our SALC funding, Seniors Active Living Center funding. Just sent in that application. We have applied for Trillium Foundation funding since I started here. And we are in the process of applying for a capital grant as well through Trillium. And we've had small amounts of money that we've got grants for as well, like our Active Living Fair. We just received about a $2,000 grant for that. And we have a new program coming up that will support folks through social prescribing, it's called. So we have a $3,500 grant for that program as well. So, but if you, and whenever you see grant opportunities, please just forward them to me or mention them to me to make sure that I'm catching all of those opportunities. Any other questions? I see one in the back, Muriel.
Thank you, and I want to say thank you to the board and staff over the last few years. It's not been easy for you, so thank you very much. I just have a question. if we could have, next time at the annual general meeting, could we have the financials ahead of time so we can look at them? I could not see it from back here, and I think a lot of us like to look at things and ponder, and then if we have questions, we can ask them at the meeting. The other thing that I would like to see is anybody who wants to come on board for our board, could we have that information ahead of time so that we can try and find them and ask them questions, or learn a little more about them, not just the day of the meeting if we were to have an election.
Okay, thanks, Muriel. Those are great suggestions. We did sort of, people can still apply to the board up to the day of, and even today they could have applied, but definitely the folks that we know in advance, we could post that next time for sure. And we will be posting all the slides from our meeting today, so you'll get those financials. I know it's a little late, but we'll try to get those to you, and next year do that a bit in advance. Thanks for those suggestions. Yep, go ahead.
Thank you. So with the information in your saying people could apply to be on the board up to date, is that something that could be changed in the, I don't know the word I'm looking for, the bylaws? Could it be a cutoff a week or 2 weeks in advance so that we have a bit of information?
I think that's a good suggestion, yeah.
Yeah, if I were to apply today, like a lot of people here wouldn't have any idea who I am.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion, so that's something we can take back to the board. The board can discuss. Thank you. Do we have any other questions? Well, I would like for somebody to make a motion to conclude our annual general meeting.
I make a
Wayne
motion.
makes a motion, and seconded by, I'm sorry, I don't know your name. By Jennifer. All in favor? Awesome. So please join us. We have some sandwich refreshments and coffee and tea coming out very soon. So please stick around and mingle and enjoy your lunch. And I'll be around for a little bit. We are going to have our first board meeting. So if you don't see us, that's where we are. But if you have any questions or any follow-up, please just contact me anytime. My door is always open. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.